We get to start today off on a high note, or at least that is hopefully going to be the case. I hope that is going to be the case. It is time for another draft after a very disappointing end to what was our best season to date. We make the playoffs for the very first time before ultimately losing to Buffalo. Now, there has been a lot of conversations going on in that beautiful comment section, and I love each and every one of you, but there has been a lot of conversation going on as to just how good our defense will ever be from a defensive standpoint due to everybody being an offensive defenseman and what effect that's having on the goaltending. And that is a very fair point to have to ponder. I mean, whether or not our defense is ever able to play at a top-notch level, we simply don't know. This next season, we are likely to see, at least there's a decent shot of us seeing a truly all NHL level or NHL caliber defense, i.e., we'll actually have third pairing guys instead of having to rely on the likes of Cochran and Stewart, although that does depend on the continued development of Stamkos. We didn't see much improvement from Gage Melnick, but he is only 18. So I can't help but hold off on judging this situation right now until we find out for sure just how these two goaltenders, or perhaps anybody that you see here, Castle stepped up in a big-time way, but I can't help but hold off on judging the defense and how effective they're going to be. And more importantly, the idea that's been thrown out is whether or not I'd ever use two-way defensemen. I think we have to see a truly NHL, an all NHL caliber defense first before we ponder, switching up certain player types. Because in fairness, my God, Appleby, while I'm not against it, that would technically be altering the challenge. So I'm not going to change that until we get down to desperation mode of okay, nothing else has worked. Let's see if we can at least win with two-way defensemen so that this series doesn't go down as a complete and outright failure. Although some people in the past have been like, nope, you diverted from the rules a little bit, so it's over, and you failed. Why are you even continuing? Which might very well be the case. The New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup this year, the 2028 Cup. They swept the San Jose Sharks. Boy, the Sharks can't catch a break in any series, can they? The Sharks get swept. The Rangers team at this point, though, let's see what we have. Ludwig Persson led the way. Zach Newberry, who's a former 10th overall pick. Xavier Vitale, a former 1st overall pick last year. Brett Howden, an 88 at this point. Gakpo at a 90. Vitaly Kravtsov is there. Philip Hedl. Marty Gias. Gias. I know the double L is pronounced as a Y. Gias, I guess it would be. An 11th overall pick. Cole Perfetti. Etu Luotsarainen. Scott Lawton. And Alex Kovanov make up that forward core. Defensively, Josh Mahora, Keandre Miller's an 86, Nils Lundqvist, Jacob Larson, and Tarmo Renanen. Of course, they are missing one. That is not the strongest defense in the world. Peter Kochetkov. Peter. Yeah, and then Jeff McCammon is the backup, which I don't know how much he played. He only had one appearance, but he was lights out. So that is what a Stanley Cup winning team looks like in 2028. The Stanley Cup stays within the state of New York. David Pastrnak in Ottawa wins the Art Ross. The Hart goes to Jack Eichel. Charlie McAvoy wins the Norris. Pasta also wins Lady Byng. The Calder goes to Barkov in Calgary. Newberry wins the Conn Smythe as a rookie, I'm pretty sure. Parsons wins the Vezina in St. Louis, as well as the Jennings. Thomas Harley, or Harley Thomas, wins the Masterton. The Jack Adams to Arizona. The Selke to Barkov. And the Ted Lindsay to Jack Eichel. Peter Reynolds wins the Rockets. Richard. AHL awards at this point, they're all going to be generated players. So, not too big of a deal. We know the lottery is not going to be a factor for us as the Toronto Maple Leafs win the number 1 pick. Calgary have 2 picks in the top 9. So the Leafs will have the number 1 overall pick. I've yet to look at the scouting. I've been really saving that for the draft interview phase before I even take a look. I'll be intrigued to see just how good of a talent we can get. Sidney Crosby, good God, 2,006 points. So close to his draft year. 795 goals. That is ridiculous. Stamkos also retires over 1,500 points and 730 goals. And then there's a major step down from there in terms of point totals, although Evander Kane had a very respectable career. For defenseman, Drew Doughty, 918 points. John Carlson was also up there. If John Carlson keeps playing like John Carlson's doing right now, I have a feeling he might end up with more points in his career over Drew Doughty. Goaltenders, we have Robin Lehner leading the way, 389 career wins. So one hell of a retirement class as we get to the draft interviews. So as far as the options at the top of the draft, had we had a top 5 pick, we would have been hoping for Andrei Kalinka. That is not going to happen. Our pick is projected around 15, 16. So we have Patrick Rourke, who is definitely a grinder. He won't be available to us. We have Marcel Marchand, who is looking pretty damn good and should be available. That ETA is confirmed, though, or at least close to it. Jyrki Matanen is probably a sniper. 3 years out with a bit more of a confirmed ERA. Connor Cruz, 32 goals for Saginaw. Work ethic, compete level. I don't think he'll be a sniper, though, unfortunately. If character's up there, that makes me think two-way. Oscar Soderstrom is likely to be there, but still nothing amazing. Yes, there we go. Daniel Samard. We'll look at him in a second. Vladimir Turikov, we know nothing about, so we'll probably talk to him. I don't hate Marchand. It's just we don't know what that potential is actually going to be. Samard, 17 years old. Yeah, he's got to be the pick. He has to be. Although another defenseman wouldn't hurt. Taylor Genoway is a bust, apparently. That's kind of surprising. How long is Samard ETA? We don't know yet. Then we have Justin Nugent-Hopkins, who, again, if we wanted a defenseman, that would be the guy to take. You have Kurt Binnington. In fairness, though, Nuge is very close to who we already have in Stamkos. There's also Dwight Ellis. Mark Messier comparison. Jesus. I think Samard is still the favorite. There's a low elite two-way in Saunders. Okay, I think I know who we want to go for here. There isn't anybody else who has that confirmed potential, and there isn't anybody with overly crazy stats. Demore would be very interesting if he wasn't a confirmed two-way. I think we're going with that medium elite in the first round. Although the second round, we still don't have anybody too crazy. Our projected pick is right here with Chad Law. What a name, Chad Law. Although it's looking a bit rough. Kapitanov isn't going to be what we need. Artem Novikov isn't likely to be what we need either. Although, you know, there's a chance he's a medium top 4 defenseman, and if he is, that makes the decision early on pretty straightforward. DeLuca is going to be a defensive defenseman, more than likely at 6'4". Rantanen's not bad, but I don't think he'll be available to us either. Gunnarsson, Piper, Puustinen. Elliot Healy is okay. I don't know who the hell we're going to interview here, if anybody. There's a lot of options. Overall, what about Gilson? Could be interesting. 6'4", though. I doubt he's going to be the type of player that we need. A 6'4" offensive defenseman is a rarity. There's a goaltender, and Sergei Nabokov. He's 19, though, 5 years out. It's not the worst. Ola Nicholas could be okay. Actually, let's take a look at Nicholas again. Leadership ability, mobility, stick checking, passing ability. There's a lot of players that could be worth interviewing here. This isn't a easy decision by any means. Zaitsev might be great, might not be. Norbert Ehrhoff could also be decent. Wow, this is actually going to be really tough. This is going to be really tough. Damn. How are we going to handle this? Again, I think Samard, I need to confirm that he's a sniper. He's going to be. Like, there's no way he's not going to be a sniper. So he's got to be the pick over Marchand or Matanen. There was that defenseman there as well, but Samard's too good to pass up on. So the only question is, who the hell are we aiming for in the second round? And I genuinely don't know. We don't know a damn thing about Turikov. And he'll be a bit, he'll be in the same range. Again, a 6'4" defenseman. He might be an OFD. Yarrow Gilroy's a hell of a name. Might also be amazing. I'd love to get a defenseman, though, in that second round. Let's talk to Artem Novikov and see what we have here. So skills, we'll go strengths, weaknesses, potentially. He's a good skater, actually. You know what, we'll go back to, let's go to play style. And we'll go readiness. I'm not sure if I did that. So he is an offensive defenseman. And Novikov is a few years out. Okay. But we do know that he's an OFD. So a second round option has presented itself. So Novikov's available. And then out of the forwards, there's... See, this is where it's tough because Gilroy, I think we'll take Nicholas out of the running. The second round, it's down to Novikov, Healy, Gilroy, or Law. 3 years out there. I feel like we have to go for a defenseman. Let's interview Healy. We got to find out for sure what's going on with this guy. And we'll see what happens from there. So let's go play style for Healy. He is a two-way. So that's it for that. So if we take a defenseman in the second round, it is going to be Novikov, the Russian, that we take. So between Law, who's 18, straight C's with the exception of 1B, I gotta find out about Gilroy. But I think we're gonna take that defenseman in the second round. Seems like the best way to go. So play style for Gilroy. He is a sniper. Readiness is 3 years out, and we will look at his weaknesses, which will probably be defense or skating. Physicality, that makes sense too. That would have been the third option that I mentioned. So I think the first two rounds for us are pretty straightforward. I'm going to go for Samard and Novikov. That is, in my opinion, the best case scenario that we can hope for. So let's do this. It's going to be a pretty busy off season ahead yet again to try and get everybody locked up and keep people on this team happy. Rourke was indeed a grinder, but he's a medium elite grinder. Marchand's off the board. Ponikarovsky, Zhao, Sloan, Douglas. And let's see, a high top 6 defenseman in Ramirez. Jesus. Number 1 overall pick in this draft was only an 80, so it might be a weaker draft, or that could just mean that the next few rounds are really, really good. Daniel Samard of the Gatineau Olympiques will be our first pick in this draft. Daniel, how good are you? He's not bad. He's not a medium elite. I would have preferred him to be a low elite over a medium 6. It's not bad. It's not a bad addition, as long as that defenseman that we have hopes for is there. And he wasn't that good anyway. So we might have botched this. If there's a defenseman coming up after Samard that would have been better to take, in my opinion, we botched it. I don't know if Turikov, if I didn't know anything about him, and he would have been a two-way. Nuge was a defensive defenseman. I don't really think we had good options there. I mean, I'm cool with who we took, all things considered, but yeah, this just wasn't a great draft in a way that we needed it to be for where we needed to improve. So this second round pick, I don't know. I don't know. We can't take Nelson. I don't know a damn thing about him. DeLuca at 6'4", there's no way. No way for that guy either. Gunnarsson, no way to know. Piper, there's a chance Piper's an offensive defenseman, but I can't afford to risk it. We know Healy's not available. Kai Puustinen, I know I'm botching his name, is potentially an option, but I'm afraid to take him. Gilroy is still on the board. So it will be Yarrow Gilroy from the Edmonton Oil Kings that we take. Didn't plan on taking 2 forwards, and ultimately he's only a medium 9. So it is really shaping up to be a weaker draft. I'm sure there's someone who would have been better. As let's see, DeLuca wouldn't have been available to us. Rantanen wasn't. Gunnarsson, we didn't know anything about him though. That kind of sucks. That would have been a decent little addition. Vauclair was all right. Yeah, that second round pick could have gone better for us. It really could have. So the first round pick is what it is. He just wasn't as good as I was hoping. The second round pick could have gone a little bit better for us. And my God, if Marek Dano was available. That puts us, Charlie Rabbit, what a name. That puts us into a slightly tough situation here as far as who the hell this next pick is going to be. You have Chance Walton, who's looking all right. Keaton Sauer, who is also looking all right. I mean, he is listed as a sniper, so I could take him. Philippe Guite, who could be decent. We have no word, though, about potential, unfortunately. Glenn Berard. Yeah, physical play. He's certainly not going to be one of the player types that we need. There's a goalie who, I mean, might be a medium elite, but I don't really know if I want to risk it. Vorobyev's not going to be available to us. Yeah, this is rough. This is not the draft that I was hoping for, but if there was ever a time for a rough draft, this was it. When we're already a playoff team, it certainly would have been a bit more. Oh my God, really? It certainly would have been a little bit more detrimental to have a draft like this earlier on. So it's down to Sauer or Walton. Walton's a year younger. Sauer, 45 points this last year. Walton the same and a few more games. But from what we know, I think it's got to be Walton. It's going to be Chance Walton, and we're going to hope for the best. I feel like he's going to be a medium 9. We're going for it, though. Chance Walton from the Vancouver Giants is the pick. He is another medium 9. Not ideal. Not ideal. It's not a complete disaster. But it certainly could have been better. Of course, Dano was good, but he wasn't an option. Sauer was also a medium 9. So, yeah. Unfortunately, this wasn't the draft where the high end was weak, but the depth was strong. This looks to just be a weak draft in general. Puck protection, acceleration, quickness. Bill Burrows might be okay, but I don't really want to risk it. Harry Lydecker. It's shout out to the Hartford series with Lydecker, right? God, the Whalers. What a team that was. What a series that was, if you never saw that. We also have Dmitry Zaitsev on defense. A really good skater, allegedly. I don't know if I believe that. Zane Nightingale. Leadership, puck protection, work ethic. There is just not much to go off of here. Chorney was a 20-goal scorer as a 20-year-old, so that's a bit of a nightmare. Jaskin, there, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad. You got Wes Corrado, not much there either. There's not a ton here in terms of player types that we can even draft. Now, Len Konopka's a little bit interesting because physical plays up there. He is probably a power forward. But technically, no, he's basically, no, he's a confirmed sniper. Okay, shit, I looked at that first. I'm like, wait a minute, physical play. He's an interesting one. That guy's a confirmed two-way, unfortunately. I looked for a second, and for some reason, I'm just like, no, he's not confirmed. No, he was. He was. Andre Thornton. Thornton's an interesting one, too. Okay, we might have something here. Maybe. I'm not overly optimistic. But there might be a way to salvage this draft. Thornton's a risk where if he's not a sniper, it's pretty rough. So it comes down to Konopka or Lydecker. And I think I'm gonna go for Len Konopka from the Kamloops Blazers, and we're gonna see what we have here. And what we have is a low top 6, 65 overall forward, our fourth forward of the draft. When you could argue we desperately needed the defensive help, but unfortunately, there's really, no options. I mean, I'm not exactly seeing the AI pick up good options here either. I mean, we have some decent players in the system in terms of defensemen, so it's worth just trying to take the best available, and unfortunately, that just hasn't happened. This guy's listed as a sniper, as a defenseman. He also still has Tugnis! Tugnis still exists! They didn't fix that typo! Yes! I'm still in the game! Mr. Supre still has Tugnis! God damn it. I have Tugnis, you have Tugnis, me, we, he, she, we have Tugnis. It's still in the game, baby. It's still in the game. Love to see it. Love to see it. Now, in terms of who the hell we're picking, I mean, Captain Tugnis here might be the guy. Calvin Vukafuji isn't looking that good. I mean, Angelo Bathgate. Jesus, that save percentage. I know it's only 8 games. That makes the decision relatively easy. Yeah, that makes it a pretty straightforward move. Marsh could be okay, but you can't turn down a medium elite goalie at this stage in a weaker draft like this. So I'm sorry to Captain Tugnis, but we're going for Angelo Bathgate here in the 5th round. 47 overall, but he was a younger goalie, so he'll have time to develop, and that just adds to the depth that we already have in goal. Yuka Blomdahl, 20 years old and not looking that good. Nate Jenkins, we're definitely at the point where it's like, just let me sort and see if there's anybody. And it's not looking like there might be. Joey Myers isn't that good. Kai Gorodov is 6'5". Jeff Trotter could be okay. Probably a fringe. Larry Archer, not much to go off of there, also 6'4". You got these two who are confirmed 2-ways. Then there's Blomdahl. Sergei Solovyov is okay, but not great. Yeah, there just isn't a ton to work with in this draft. There really isn't. Oh boy. I don't know who to go for. Tikkanen. Playmaking ability, but he's 4 years out at 20 years old. That's not looking too good. It's been a long time since we've seen an overager who was a lights out of the draft, and there's one player in particular I have in mind when I say that a lot of longtime viewers will be aware of. I don't think we're ever going to see a player like that again. Draft to Glory Goon Squad is what I am referring to. There's just nothing here. There really isn't from what we have to go off of. So what we're going to do, let's go back to the top. We're going to go with Blomdahl. And we're going to hope for the best. Even if, again, it's showing up as a sniper, so he's eligible. Even though I don't expect him to be good, good or decent, also known as good. And yeah, he's not. He's pretty bad. So we walk away with a medium elite goalie at the very least, but that's really the only thing that we have to show for this draft. I mean, the first round pick wasn't that bad. We're gonna take. Are we gonna take Joey Mayers? Or are we gonna take Joey Mayers? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. It's Mayers or Bernie Tebow. Bernard Tebow. We're gonna go for Joey Mayers. Let's do it. Take another goalie when in doubt. He is a medium fringe. So that was as rough of a draft as advertised. It was Samard, and unfortunately we didn't take Captain Tugnas like we should have, but there's only room for so much Tugnas on this team, and I'm carrying the weight. In terms of the contracts, let's see what we have to deal with. Oh god. Okay. So goalie-wise, we have Bednar. Kluchek has an RFA for one more year. Astles, Aris Miller, and Daig needs to be signed to his ELC. Best way to go about this, try to let Kluchek go as an RFA and sign the other three. That's the best way to handle it. So we'll qualify Kluchek. Cyrus Astles needs to be signed. And we know how this is going to work. He's just going to reject a normal contract, so we'll have to pay him a little bit more money. Rice Miller will probably still reject a normal contract as well. The good thing is call-up and send-downs aren't going to affect us too much, and then Daig will be signing his ELC at 21 years old. Defensively, it's going to be rough. So 3 out of the top 4 need to be re-signed. Cochran needs a new deal, no matter what. And the good thing is he's a UFA, so I mean, if you can just outright sign him. Stamkos needs to sign his ELC. We're not going to sign Melnick to his yet. Malone should still probably be signed. Yui could be signed to his ELC as well, although I'm not expecting much. The debate is just how much do I care about trying to build the AHL. And you know what? We will look to sign Malone. If this game decides to be stupid and have him reject a max two-way offer, then I don't know what the hell to tell you. Maybe he doesn't stay. Same with Marchand. And we will actually sign, I think it was Zane Yui, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. So Zane Yui we'll look to keep. We'll focus on the defense in a second. Winger-wise, Appleby. Oh, God, this is going to be rough, man. Appleby is going to be very expensive. This is going to be tough. Let's see if we can bring back Foss. Oh, boy. All right. All right. Wow. If that's the type of player that's looking for that much, let's get these RFAs signed immediately. Montgomery is top priority. We are fucked. Sorry for the language. I apologize. We are, though. We are. Oh, God. I don't know how I'm getting out of this. You would think certain players would be okay with signing now that we've made the playoffs, but that is apparently not the case. Montgomery is going to be our third guy making over $10 million a season. I don't see how we survive that. We are in a Toronto Maple Leafs-esque situation here. Oh, damn. How much is a Finneganoff looking for? I know what some people are probably saying, just let them go. If we let them go, we're screwed. I can't afford to re-sign all these guys. I really can't. Montgomery would fetch us a lot in terms of an offer sheet, but again, that sets us back so far if that's how we do it. I'm going to go 5 years so that the status is that he's still an RFA by the end of it. What if we go 10-5 over 5? I don't think he'll accept that. And then Appleby, is the other big one that we got to worry about. We'll go 2 years, so he's still an RFA, and we'll go 5.5 for him, and we'll advance Day. So Daig signs his ELC, Stamkos as well. Astles is back. Yui signs. Appleby rejects. Malone rejects. Cochran is back. Marchant rejected. Rice Miller rejected. And Montgomery rejected. We have $25 million. Rice Miller rejecting is so hilariously bad. I don't think I can approve of the situation with the way the re-signings are working for guys who are on two-way deals. But it works the way it works. What the hell are we going to do? Montgomery, 5-year deal, 10.9. And then for Appleby, it was what, a 2? Yeah, it's a 2-year deal at 5.9. We'll see if that works. Next up is Benson in terms of a bigger deal, and we'll go like 1.4 for him. Foss is not getting the amount of money he thinks he's getting. As it is, we elected to pay Noren a bit more than maybe we should have to hope that he would develop into what he could be. That hasn't happened. Is there anybody else I'm overly worried about signing? Not really. There's a lot of meh. We can sign Fawcett to his ELC. And like Bobkoff, I don't have to worry about. So we'll go forward another day. Benson rejects. Appleby rejects. Fawcett signs his ELC. Rice Miller's back. Montgomery is back. So we've made some progress, but we still have just $15 million to work with. This is going to be damn close. Finneganoff, 3-year deal at 6.2. Doughty is going to be 5.75 for 1 year, just to keep him under RFA status, just in case. And I guess forward-wise, we got to worry about Appleby still. There's a very good chance of one of our better players going to free agency under a qualifying offer, which is really going to suck. Doughty rejects, Appleby rejects, Finneganoff rejects. We're in a lot of trouble. We are in a lot of trouble right now. Huh. Alright. What are we going to do here? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, we're without Appleby. 5 and 6. Jovo's in the top 6. Third line is Korobov. I really want to bring back Benson. In all honesty, he's not that expensive. Let's see if I can get him on a 3-year deal at $2 million. Just to wrap him up. Foss is gone. Like, if he's asking for 2.8, that's just not going to happen. Now, he's playing like somebody who should be getting 2.8 million. I just don't see how we ever do that. You know? And Malone, I can't imagine how much you're looking for. Not that much, thankfully. We need to solve these big contracts first, though. We have no choice. Finneganoff. The hell can I do for you? 2 years at 6.5. Doughty will still go on a 1-year deal at 6.25. We're not going to be able to re-sign everybody. And then Appleby, so basically whoever accepts first, cool, and then the others end up going to free agency. That's the only way this works. So we'll see who it's going to be. Move forward another day. Benson's back. Doughty's back. Appleby rejects. Finneganoff's back. Appleby's the odd man out. Brody Appleby is the odd man out. And with that puck skills category, I don't feel too good about that. The issue is there's not much I can do right now. Now, I am allowed to trade players in that I can pair them with a 7th just to get rid of them. The only reason why I don't do that option much, some people be like, well, you signed the contract. But I think it goes to show that sometimes contracts are just a bit excessive. Just a little bit, though. Just a little bit. Like, there are some players who are refusing to re-sign for money that they should be 100% okay with re-signing for. And then it just becomes a bit of a pain in the ass to let people go to free agency and then have to track them down again and then re-sign them. The good thing is our defense is set. Malone to be 3, Marchant is 4, 5, and 6. So technically I can actually let go of 2 other players. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, Malone and Marchant, I'm not spending extra money on you two. So have fun. You can go to free agency. You don't want to sign reasonable contracts, get the hell off of my team. Forward-wise, we are going to have to qualify Appleby. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting. But we are going to have to qualify Appleby. And of course, we already have Kluchek qualified. So Appleby right now is the odd man out. It sucks. But there's a good chance we're going to lose him. There's a very good chance we're going to lose him. Foss, unfortunately, I just can't imagine signing him to that much money. Let me see who we have forward-wise. So I could just, I'm going to sign Bobkoff because he's at least a body and we know he's going to sign his ELC. So that's 2, 3. Dwyer sucks. We're just going to cut him. He's a former 6th round pick. There was never much expected out of him. We're going to drop him. So again, that's 3, 4. Palat's an RFA. He sucks and I don't want to overspend, so he's going to go. Who else do we have here? I'm going to drop Gamble. Sawyer's not going to get any better either. He's not that useful except to make the AHL better. But it's not as if, these younger guys like Kapusta are going to be playing with these guys that are that great anyway. I mean, Heikkinen doesn't want to resign. He's going to have to be a 1 year, $1 million, one-way deal. That's just not going to cut it. So I think all of these older guys here are going to get dropped. As much as that sucks to say. Foss is definitely out because we're not going to pay him that much money. Malone, we should be able to get on one of these deals. Same thing for... Nope, Hedstrom's gone too. We're going to qualify Hedstrom. But Foss is gone. Udes, Ott. All of these guys are on the way out. So I don't know what the bottom 6 is going to look like. The AHL is going to be significantly weaker. But I'm not giving these guys one-way $1 million deals to stick around. That's just not worth it. So, Bobkoff signs his ELC. Malone rejects. So, I mean, you can kick rocks, is what I've just learned. So, Kluchek's good. And then forward-wise, Appleby and Hedstrom have also been qualified. All these other guys are going to be dropped because we only have $3 million. So, let's do that. And we'll see what we're dealing with. I am also going to have to sort out all of the coaching, which is a massive pain in the ass. But we'll see what we can do. Now, with this team, if we take a look at it, with this team, in terms of who's shaping up to be on the squad this year, again, goalie-wise, it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully, Kluchek gets offer sheeted, and we have our 4. Defensively, it's intact. We're paying Trafford and Montgomery a boatload of money. Doughty and Afinogenov as well. But without them, our defense is in a very, very bad way. And then forward-wise, I mean, that's... Without Appleby, it's still... Without Appleby, it's hurting. It's hurting a lot. Mizak is down in morale, I would assume. And I guess that would be kind of the fair assumptions. Like, do we let go of Mizak for nothing? Do we let go of Mizak for nothing? A 7th round pick swap to keep Appleby, or do we let Appleby go, recoup some draft picks, and hope that we see some development from some of our younger guys? Because otherwise, that 4th line is it's hurting a little bit. I don't know exactly what I want to do. What I know that I have to do, though, is set up the goddamn coaching staff for this next year, which I'm not excited to do. But I will do it. I will be back in a second because we're at least going to see what this team looks like heading into next season. Although, scouting-wise, we're okay. I do have to max out certain offers, though. I'll be back in a second. All right, it takes forever to scroll to max out the contract offers for Scout members. It has been something that I've mentioned to EA, like, hey, this should just be a button to offer the max contract. And they said, cool, yeah, good idea. So hopefully they follow up on that. Let's find out what the hell is going to happen with our current RFAs as we get Fortier as a coach, Adan Chan, and Fairchild. Perfect. So we're going to have a ridiculous coaching staff because those were the top 3 head coaches available, and I signed them all. They're all A+, all making nearly $10 million a year. Yeah, that coaching staff should be able to get the most out of this team, I'd like to think. Not to mention, this guy is our AHL head coach. So yeah, if you're playing with that other mode on, just max out the contracts. It takes forever to scroll, but you'll have a ridiculous coaching staff. We've seen nothing yet about Appleby. I don't think that'll last for too much longer. It might, though. Nothing about Kluchek either. Kluchek might accept. There it is. 4 years, $6.3 million for Appleby. It'd be a first and a third from the New York Rangers, the defending Stanley Cup champions. That leaves us with the decision to make, and that is whether or not we take the compensation from New York or if we try to free up $3 million with the space. Appleby put up 55 points this last year, his best season to date. You see the stats. As a playmaker, he's top-notch. But in terms of who we can get rid of, I mean, we're looking at Mizak as the first and foremost option. He doesn't have that much value, which is fine, but we're looking at getting rid of him. I mean, from a forward perspective, it would have to be him. I'm not really sure who else it could be. It would have to be somebody on defense. I know people don't like Doughty. I don't like him either for how he's underperformed, but that's the move. That's the move. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do we trade Mizak to keep Appleby, or do we take the compensation and hold on to Jan Mizak, who wasn't that much worse and has been capable of 60-point seasons in the past? He might be overpaid now, but he might not be by the end of it. But still, I'll leave it up to you. If it was up to me, I mean, it's a risky move and weakens our team, but I don't know, man. That compensation could be pretty nice. You never know. So I will see you guys in the next one. There will be a poll. Click on the eye thingies in the corner. We'll do it that way, and we'll see whether or not it's Jan Mizak or Brody Appleby, who will still be a member of this team come the beginning of next episode.